Radhe Radhe Radhe, Madan Mohan Radhe, Radhe Radhe Radhe, Radhe 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 Radhe, Radhe Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe, Madan Mohan Radhe, Radhe Radhe, Madan Mohan Radhe, Radhe Radhe Radhe, Madan Mohan Radhe, Radhe Radhe, Madan Mohan Radhe, Radhe Radhe Radhe, Madan Radhe Radhe, Govinda Radhe, Radhe Radhe, Govinda Radhe, Radhe Radhe Radhe, Govinda Radhe, Radhe Radhe Radhe, Govinda Radhe, Radhe Radhe Radhe, Govinda Sri Guru Sriyutam Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathannitam Tam Shajivam Sadaitam Shabadhutam Parijana Shahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanitanscha Vande Guru Padadandvam Bhakta Vrinda Shamannitam Sri Chaitanya Prabhum Vande Nityananda Shahoditam Sri Nandanandanam Vande Radhika Charanadvayam Gopi Jana Shamayuktam Vrindavana Manoharam Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Stadalai Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah Vande Gurunisha Bhaktanisha Mishavatarakam Tat Prakashanscha Tat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Sangakam Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Sri Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I offer my most respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of their divine graces, Guru Pada Padma, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhara Deva Goswami Pad, and my Shiksha Guru Pada Padma, Srila Bhai Charana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ji Maharaj. I humbly pray for both their divine graces to be bestowed upon all of us. And thereafter, I offer my most humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of their divine graces, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj, and all the Guru Varga, all the Vaishnava Vrinda, humbly pray for their blessings, grace on me, on all of us. My loving regards to all of you, good-hearted devotees, assembled here to inspire me, also to give some pleasure to the deities of the Lord, to the Lordships. When devotees become engaged, chanting and speaking and hearing the glories of the Supreme Lord, their Lordships, not only they become so pleased, the Supreme Lord becomes so pleased, and some grace actually comes from him automatically through Nama Sankirtana for the devotees, for those devotees who are engaged in that Krishna Sankirtana activity. Gaur Hari Bol. It has been many times, many ways explained. Anyhow, while we engage in Krishna Sankirtana anyhow, anyway, always brings some special benefits, spiritual benefits, divine benedictions in our life, visibly or invisibly. Mostly spiritual way. Whether or not we directly understand, but it happens. We receive some grace, some benedictions from the Supreme Divine. Like I say, there are innumerable topics to discuss about Lord Krishna, Radhika Krishna Mahatma. Naturally, while we begin to discuss about the Supreme Infinite Divine, Supreme Lord, who is of unlimited nature, who has no limit. So naturally, there are innumerable topics to speak about him, her. I rather prefer to invite queries, some spiritual queries, and want to answer accordingly. So many wonderful scriptures actually appeared through question and answer programs, isn't it? So many wonderful scriptures which manifest in our life through Pariprasnam, question and answer programs. Okay.
I wanted to ask why it's so easy to be affected by some bad qualities of others and start to imitate them, and why it's so difficult to be affected in the same way by some good examples and start to imitate them or to follow them. Why it's easier to follow the bad example than to follow the good example.
That's because of conditioning. Because of the conditionings of the illusory energy over the jiva souls. Also, jiva souls notion on this mundane plane is a normal notions of the jiva souls to be attracted by Mahamaya, by some illusory happiness, illusory enjoyment, although temporary, but that's why it happens. It's like, how to explain? Intoxication is a good example to explain this. You know, when some normal human being starts taking intoxication, in the very beginning it doesn't feel very good, something foreign being adopted by the body, the biological system, something foreign. But as one continues, somehow or other continues to take the intoxication, at some point it becomes a habit. Through the continued association with the energy of intoxication, then that person grows some friendly feelings with the energy of intoxication. They get known to each other. Then they think, okay, it's my friend, great friend. I feel so good in the company of this energy of intoxication. It feels so good, so great. Okay, and goes on and on, being easily influenced by the energy of intoxication, instead of living a healthy life free from intoxication. It's a good example of the conditioning of the Mahamaya. Jiva soul also wants, and Mahamaya Devi also ready. Illusionary energy also ready to reciprocate with each other. I give you the example of intoxication. You know, it's so easy for the people to tend towards intoxication, to relate to intoxication, easily influenced. But although they understand it's not good by intelligence, understand it's injurious for health, it's much better to live away from intoxicating energy, to live away from intoxication. Okay. It is much better to be influenced by the positive energy of the health of life, healthy way of living life. Much better, much beneficial. On the contrary, living under intoxication, okay, is very injurious to health. But still, they get easily influenced. Living with that instead of living with the healthy way of life. So, back to the point, we, the Baddha Jivas, conditioned souls, always have some tendency to sometimes enjoy our state of delusions, some illusions, hallucinations, like the way we enjoy hallucinations. Although there's difference between the real reality and hallucinogenic realities. They don't go together. So, but still, people go on with hallucinations and do many wrong things, jumping up, jumping from the mountain, thinking that I can fly. They do so many other things like that, not matching with the reality, realistic ways of the life. They feel very good about it, and they don't feel so good. They don't easily feel so good to live a realistic life, because often they don't know how to receive happiness by living a realistic, healthy life. They think that realistic life brings some distress, unhappiness, less enjoyment. Oh, world of intoxication is much better. Bring some so-called enjoyment and good feelings. But in the long run, in consequence, they bring so much bad things. People understand by intelligence, yet they cannot get out of it so easily. Why? So, I am explaining this as befitting to the nature of your question. Back to the point. It's caused by some illusory mode of nature, mode of ignorance. We human beings always live under three modes of nature. Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. Quite clear. So we have some tendency to easily go down. Okay, we have a part of us, part of ourselves has always got some tendency to easily go down, to be a bit irresponsible and be illusionized, delusionized, intoxicated, and feel happy about that. That's the way it is. That's the way it happens on this mundane plane of existence. That's the answer. Because we are living on the mundane plane of life, mundane plane of existence, that's the way it is. That's the way it works here. Almost everybody is working under delusion, under some illusory energy. Most of the people, except for some very, very fortunate ones, liberated souls, most of the jivas are conditioned here, preconditioned by past karma, present karma, past effects of karma, and the present karma, present effects. And there is some. There is some kind of nonsense also, like we run after some phantasmagoria in the desert, thinking there is water, no water, but still we think there is water, running, and that is going away and away from us. We take some happiness in running after that imaginary water, phantasmagoria. At some point we get delusionized, then we learn a big lesson. So that's the way of the mundane world, mundane existence. That's the way everything works on this mundane plane of existence. Therefore, our ultimate program is to get out of this mundane existence and go to the divine abode of Krishna. I repeat, that's why the Mahajanas, the wise men, pure devotees, have mentioned about this mundane plane of existence, mundane world. This is not the world for gentlemen to live in. This is not the ideal world for the gentleman to live in. Because this world, this mundane plane of existence is so much marked by exploitations, by spirits of exploitations, illusions, delusions, so many problems that are opposite nature to the divine world of divine existence. The pure devotees call this mundane plane of existence as a land of exploitation. Okay. It's a land of intoxication. Land of illusions, land of karma and vikarma, karmic actions and reactions. It's the world of cycle of birth and death. Srishti, sthiti, layam, birth, maintenance and annihilation. Birth, maintenance, death. Birth, maintenance, death. Always. Whereas in the nature of the transcendental world, okay, world in transcendence, world of Krishna, is characterized, marked by these qualities, that of eternity, okay, eternal power and joy, eternal, the world of eternal satisfaction, eternal and unlimited satisfaction, blissfulness. This is mortal, that is immortal. This is the plane of exploitation, this is the plane of dedication, positive gain. This is the plane of illusion, that is the plane of enlightenment. Plane of Krishna consciousness, divine Krishna consciousness is plane of enlightenment, divine illuminations. At every step, every dimensions of lives over there. So back to the point, I'm answering my question. So because we are living on the mundane plane of existence, that's why it happens. That's the way it works over here. That's the normal way, everything, mostly things work over here. That people are easily affected by the bad things rather than good things. Otherwise, we would be called as illusory world. Illusion, what is illusion? This is illusion. We can easily let ourselves be easily affected. People easily let themselves to be easily affected by bad things, but they don't let themselves, or they are not easily affected by the good things, good association, good qualities and principles. Why? Why so? Why it has to be so? Due to illusion, lack of knowledge, lack of higher taste, lack of, due to and caused by influence of the mundane environment. There are good things in this mundane world, also so many bad things, side by side. It's not starting with good and ending in good. not starting in goodness and ending in goodness. It's a mixture on this plane, mixture of good and bad. As we find lower type of environment and bad, as we find bad environment, so find good environment. Similarly, we find some lower self of ourselves. We have got different types of ourselves. We have lower self and higher self. We can also understand about that at certain moments of our life. When we live in the best of ourselves, then we live something else. We appear to be some other human being of high quality, first class, excellent human being. Okay, we can live with the best of ourselves, feel happy, joyful, positive, helping myself, helping others. We feel glorious. We become beautiful and glorious. Okay. But when we are faced with our lower selves, we can understand the difference. And we understand in some way it should not be that. I don't like to be in this way. Still it's happening, caused by the environment, time, place, situation, caused by my own conditions. We also have lower conditions, higher conditions, to some extent lower conditions, both. So that's the way it is on this plane of life. Happens. Like, for example, if you ask, if we ask why the gravitational pull should be only this way, why not that way? Answer is, that's the way it is. You have to accept the way it is. Period. Because gravitational pull always works downward, not upward. That's the way it is. While we feel emotional, anything, we start crying. Okay. Whether in joy or sorrow, happiness or sorrow, we start crying. Why tears will come down? When we feel too much emotional, whether happy or very sad. Why we cannot remain tearless? That's the way it is. That's how it works. Many things in our life. Why we feel sleepy at some point. We feel hungry, thirsty, sleepy. Sometimes joyful, sometimes sorry, disappointed, sometimes very hopeful, very excited, sometimes frustrated. But that's the way the mundane life is. That's why. Okay. Therefore, one of our programs, our main program, to search a better life. Search a life much better than this. Which life will never be influenced, will hardly be influenced by the lower stuffs, bad qualities of others or environment, which will stay, which will be more positively tuned to stay influenced by only the higher positive things and qualities, instead of being easily affected by the lower stuffs. That's what we are doing. We are searching after that higher life, divine. why darkness looks like darkness. That's the way it is. Darkness cannot be light. Light cannot be darkness, although they are going on side by side. Also, sometimes some of our negative experiences of life help, also in a positive way. It is found in the great lives. They have got the power to turn their negative experiences also to help them in a positive way, to have positive progress. Okay, there are arts of living, higher arts of living, with some gracious power from above, with some blessed power from above. It can so happen. Even our negative things can also be turned into some helpful things to contribute to our positive progress. We learn many things. We learn many good lessons. Through bad lessons, in many ways through bad lessons, we also learn some good lessons from the life and can differentiate between mortal, mundane life and the life divine. Can make the differentiation in that way. It gives us the experience of comparative study. Otherwise there will be no comparative study, no comparative experience. In order to understand and feel and realize our life divine is much higher than this mortal life, mundane life. We need some comparative experiences. So that's the side of some utility. We understand what is wrong, what is right. Unless we have the comparative study or comparative experience, we won't have that ability. So, in the long run, it's like a good test. You know, when someone climbs up the Mount Everest in Himalayas, the nature of climbing, you know, the feel into the climbing process doesn't feel so good. Very austere, so much life risk, so austere, so cold, miserable. But still, some principle guides them to go on. That is excitement. Excitement, an attraction of pride and honor and heroism, glory of the heroism, that I'm going to climb up on the top of Himalayan mountain Everest. I become so great and glorious, I feel so proud about it. I feel so proud about this because I feel so great about myself that I could do it. Through adventure, I could win. I could win through all the obstacles and reach my goal. That is the satisfaction. Otherwise, the climbing process, what's the big deal? Climbing, everybody experiences that through more or less through hiking. Climbing and associating with the ice, taking so much life risk, and then climbing on the top of mountain, one can see all the scenario from the aeroplane, much more, from much higher altitude. What's the real difference? not a real new experience, to satisfy that pride, self-pride, making them feel great, heroic. So the reason I'm giving this example, that they find some happiness to do that, although it is so miserable. Climbing process through the different climates, bad climate, very miserable. So much life risk, yet they feel good, they derive some happiness of adventure, joy of adventure from, that's why they do it. One example, there are many other examples as such, similar examples like this. There in internet we find so many people, they show so many arts, their expertise, in some of them involving life risk, great life risk, walking on the wire, jumping from the skyscraper buildings, certain way, they take great, they make any mistake, dead. Still they go on doing it. It's also kind of illusion of some certain type of glory, pride. What's the real use? You know, when you judge certain things like that, some adventurous activity, with the higher conscience, higher temperament, by higher temperament, you will be wondering, your life is so valuable. Your life is much more valuable than all those gymnastics, arts. When you are doing it, when you are risking your life too much, just to get some pride, to show some expertise to some people. Look how great I am, how bold I am. But any moment you make any mistake, and everybody is prone to make mistake, you are dead. You are finished. You are dead. So you are not caring for your own life. Taking so much risk of your own life just to satisfy your pride, to make you feel you are great, to satisfy some people, to feel something heroic. If anything goes wrong, you are dead. Are you doing proper justice to your own life? If we judge properly, in general it feels so good. We also enjoy to see that. People are doing like that. Too much life risk. Okay? People are also enjoying, he is also, whether he knows whether he is enjoying or not, but he is also enjoying somewhere to satisfy the pride. Example of illusion. I would understand some justification of that if there would be no life risk. Okay, some adventure free of life risk. Then okay, fine, good enjoyment. But while put his own life, our own life to so much risk and doing all this, okay, it means doing great injustice to his or her own life. Okay, putting the importance of other stuffs, those things over the life. Suicidal, illusion. It's called illusion of pride. False pride, illusory pride. What will be the meaning of the pride if he is dead in the first place? Continue to live in a healthy way, better way, joyful way, positive way. That is the real glory of the life. Not to take a great risk of life and finish it, which is invaluable to us. We are not creator of our own lives. So we have no right to make misuse of that. Absolutely, you have no right to neglect that, put it to so much risk, make extreme misuse of that. So anyway, back to the point. So, on this mundane plane of existence, we have got certain lower conditionings, lower taste of our life. So that also that makes us vulnerable, how to say vulnerable. Makes us vulnerable, prone to be easily affected by some low-class stuff's bad things, rather than being affected or influenced by the good things. That is called in other illusory conditionings in the jiva souls. And our program is to get out of that condition, be liberated. So, that is that. Go Ribo. So therefore, waking up is required. Therefore, receiving higher enlightenment, receiving higher illuminations, enlightenment, divine enlightenment of life is so much required, so that we can understand, we can be more intelligent, understand. This is bad for me. I should not let myself be affected by this bad thing. This is so detrimental, so harmful. I should be affected by good things. So we should be, self-awakening is required. With the more and more of this self-awakenment, with more and more of higher self-awakenment, higher self-awareness, okay, divine enlightenment, such notion goes away. Such, such tendencies to be easily influenced by the bad things go away. Then we grow the tendencies, grow some other constitution, or other type of nature, to be easily influenced by the good things. Okay, we become more trained up, more befitting. Okay, more qualified, more easy. Okay, to be easily influenced by the good things, positive things of our life. So, therefore, we need to follow Lord Krishna's instructions. Always try to live your life in the association of some things, somebody higher than you, which is higher, more positive, okay, good. In other words, always strive, be aiming to live your life in the mode of goodness. Make conscious efforts for that. By applying your intelligence, always make a conscious effort, always to live your life in the mode of goodness, meaning live in good association, good environment, good thoughts, good habits. It should be done through self-awakenment, should be, how you say, through the principle of self-help, with the help of the higher intelligence. Lord Krishna says, become friend to yourself. Do not become enemy to yourself. Natmanam avashadait atmaiva hi atmano bandhu Atmaiva Vipuratma, Atmaiva Chyatmano Bandhu, Atmaiva Vipuratma. Liberate yourself. Become best friend to your own self. To liberate yourself, uplift yourself. Never let yourself succumb, collapse to any adversity. Okay. Thus you consciously, thus you continue a conscious effort to become the best friend to your own self, instead of being your enemy. And that consciousness is already there within us. We need to awake. We need to have it awakened. Wake it up. By utilizing our free will to the best, instead of misusing free will to the worst. We are endowed with free will, no matter how jiva souls are conditioned. Still, within that conditioning, still, all the jiva souls are endowed with some free will. That is a boon, great boon, blessed gift in our life. Lord Krishna advises us to make the best use of that free will you have given by me, and have the best attainment, best achievement in your life. Be influenced by the good things, higher positive things of life, instead of misuse your free will and go down. Okay. Take the influence of the bad things and go down and down. Then you are enemy to yourself. So, you can always be a best friend to yourself. It's up to you. Okay. I hope you can also answer your question through few more alternative ways, but this is something just a principal way of the answering. Okay, your good self was raising hand. Had a question.
Yes, because she was asking why she's so much influenced by the power, the lower power, and I think that we stay here in an area where there's hard karma. If it would not be like this, everybody would be in connection with Krishna. So if you go and rise up into your own relation to God, you become sensitive, like me. Like today I walk on the street, somebody was smoking, and it was like the cigarette enter into my own lung, and I suffer. And once I start to, I don't want to touch the soul of that person, but I don't want to have nothing to do with it. So I can just tell you, run as fast as possible into the Krishna temple and enjoy the relation to Krishna, because the world outside is something else, and you have to suffer if you want to stay into the light. But I live somewhere where people use drugs, like you say. Somehow I understand, because many people don't see no reason to live here. And I say, I start to drink and take one because I don't want to see this reality. They are not bad, but they just say, I don't identify myself with the material working, doing this and that. They want to have peace for their lay in the ground, right? But there are some other people can be more affected by. And for this is only the one protection. Keep the Bhagavad Gita with you, or stay in a temple, because they give you strength to fight. Me, I sometimes I feel I'm not even able to fight.
Okay.
Yes, I have people who worship the black magic. Wherever I go, they start isolating them around me. So then you have to go down also, and you feel you're separated from Krishna. But he will bring us on Krishna.
So you explain the same thing, what I have just explained in different manners,
Yes.
different ways, okay?
So,
Yes. You have just explained the same thing, same principles, what I have explained in details in different ways. Yes. Waking up in relation to Krishna, waking up in Krishna consciousness. Okay. And discovering ourselves. Okay, in beautiful divine Krishna consciousness, enlightened Krishna consciousness is the solution. Solution to this. To be freed from all the from taking all the bad effects from bad things, living a better life, liberating myself from all the bad things and just be influenced, allow myself to be more influenced by the positive things of Krishna consciousness. Positive qualities of the divine world, divine consciousness of the supreme, beautiful, and blissful Lord. Gaur Hari Bol. So, in the face of adversity, in the face of all negative, bad experiences, bad influences, we can still remain very conscious of helping myself, okay, and make a conscious effort without being a pessimist person. Continue to make conscious effort to be good, to accept the good, embrace the good in my life, embrace the divine influence in my life. Then it can happen. It's like you're very tired, exhausted, sleeping. Your sleep is not yet complete, but you have got something urgent to do. You have to wake up at that time. Remember to put the alarm in the clock. Or the alarm rang up. You're so exhausted, you don't want to get up. Still something is working within you to get you up, wake you up. From a state you are almost no control. Your control, from a state you are waking up, which is controlled by sleeping energy, or sleeping mode. You have no full control in that state of the sleeping mode. Somehow or other, something working within you, your willpower, to help yourself, sense of responsibility, it makes you wake up. You wake up, get up, and just get ready, go out for that. And the time, how it happens. From a state where you have no full control, a very sleeping mode, still it happens because of your willpower. It is there within you. Just to make use of that and wake up. That's how we wake up. That's why such example has been used. Wake up and arise. Receive your best game of life. Why such words are used by the Mahajans? Because it's realistic. That's the reality. It happens in a realistic way, waking up. Go, go. Go, go. Sometimes we can easily fall unconscious. When we do not have proper health, we fall unconscious, cannot control. Other times, when we know how to live a healthy life, we can check ourselves from being, prevent ourselves from being unconscious, falling unconscious, maintain our consciousness. Both ways are possible. Once, nice example, once a person just told me, Maharaj, today I just went out, he was describing about his experience, went out in the market, and suddenly, as I was walking by, suddenly I started seeing darkness in my eyes. Okay, I was just staggered, like tossing, and I could feel that I was losing my sense, start seeing darkness. But immediately I became when it's happening like that, I immediately started speaking. Some sense was working still in my mind. I mean, it just took a few seconds to fall unconscious. But just before that happening, I became very aware to protect myself, because if I fall down anyway, my head will be broken, I will die. So immediately I talk myself, sit down where you are. Somehow sit down, grab the floor. That's what he did. And then he did not know anything. And at some point he discovered himself being carried by some people. Okay. He was walking on the street. Okay. Oh, he said, sit down and try to be on the side of the road as much as possible. Two things he did. So what happened, because immediately he sat down, somehow he managed, while losing sense, somehow managed to sit down. And then he did not know anything, but what happened, then he was not hurt badly. Sit down and fell on the ground, and some other people came running and protected. Why I'm giving this example? During that time, he could be bewildered out of fear. Going to lose my, what's going to happen? What am I supposed to do? There's no time for thinking so much. But he was not fearful. Still he was trying to be intelligent and protective. Some awareness was working because of some practice, and that helped him. Otherwise the same person would have fallen down from the standing posture, hit his head and break many things, could be deadly. The reason I'm giving this example, we have something within us, some higher guide within us in the form of intelligence and awareness. Need to make best use of it. Okay. With the help from above, the blessings of the Supreme Lord. From that's why this term came, God helps those who help themselves. Self-help is there. We have got that potency within us. Need to wake it up. It's like it's already given within us. Need to find it out, discover it from within ourself, soul and super soul. Realistic. This is reality. In a similar way, so lift ourselves up from the bad influence, uplift on the level of the good influence, higher influence of life. Okay, so much analysis. give you a thorough answer to your question. Any further query? Today I thought of stopping by 7:30. It's not going to happen. Any other query? Everybody is wanting. Okay, let us rest, Maharaj. That's the mode now. Okay, so let me put Harikatha to rest now for today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Saraswati Prabhu Jayatam, the way you give here. Okay. He is one way.
¿La entendiste? Que digas el primer Mari como se dice aquí.
Ah, ok. Jai Sri Guru Ranga, Narlo Tranqui, Jai Sri Iliwala Ki, Jai Sri Lakshmi Bhagavan Ki, Jai Om Vishwabha Paramahamsa Parivala Acharya, Sarada Srimad Srila Bhakti Aloka